Hey guys, Rochelle here with Amethyst Ascension. If you are new here, welcome, and if you are returning, thank you so much for joining me again. So let's talk, guys. Oh my goodness. So I did get this a few days ago, and it is Tarot for Light Seers. This is by Chris Ann. It says, A Journey Through the Symbols, Messages, and Secrets of the Cards. Now, I am in tarot heaven, okay, because I love Chris Ann so much. I love her work so much. She was instrumental, absolutely instrumental in my my tarot journey. You know, this was like, I've talked about this, and you guys know this. The ones that have been here for a while. I've got a lot of new subscribers. Thank you so much. Oh my goodness gracious. I am so grateful. But the Light Seers Tarot is definitely probably my first soul deck, or one of my first soul decks. It was so instrumental. Her book was so instrumental to me. And I got this is the indie version of the Light Seers Tarot. This is the book that it came with, right? And you're getting a lot of that same flavor from this and this. This is just, oh, I'm so happy with this book. And so I started going through it, and I just wanted to go through it with you and talk about what I think about this particular book and deck and her work. First of all, it is just a beautiful, beautiful book. Did I say deck? I meant book. Well, her decks too, but this book is hardbound. Just beautiful. Here's what the spine looks like. Here's what the backs look like, or the back looks like. But I really wanted to show you, if you were even wondering what is in this book, whether or not it's something that you might like to see, yeah, I'm going to give you a sneak peek into it, and I'm going to read a few cards out of it. She was instrumental. Chris Ann was instrumental in me learning the difference between the light and the shadow side of a card. Because until this deck, I was afraid to even look into reversals. And although I don't read reversals per se, I do look at the shadow side of the card. So you could essentially say that's the reversals, but I don't like shuffle in reversals. I know because of using spread. It was Chris Ann through this book that really helped me understand the difference between using or seeing the shadow in the card and the upright, you know? So the light and the shadow of a card. And I believe that a spread can also help you determine that, right? This book has different spreads. Lots of different spreads. The Calling in Love spread, the Ancestral Healing spread, the Anxious Loops spread, Healing the Body and Mind, Epic Mission and Badass Dreams. And then she gets into each one of the major arcana. Each one of the major arcana, she has a story, and she has questions, and she has like a, like saying, I awaken my soul path and I am ready for adventure. So like affirmations and a spread for each one of them. So I have 3 cards in general that I know sometimes people have issues with. And that was another thing that helped me, was how Chris-Anne sees these cards. So I pulled these cards out and I wanted to read them out of the book to you guys. So one is, and it changed my perspective. And that's what I stuck with because that's what resonated with me, right? One was the Hierophant, Keeper of the Sacred. The other one was the Seven of Wands. And then the other one was Judgment. Those were just a few of them, okay? But I want to read to you what she's got here. Let me get my glasses back on for the Hierophant. This is so beautiful. Not only does she have full color, right? Beautiful. It says, as a seeker, you hold the power to vibrate with a little more light as you ascend upwards, up towards the one cosmic love that shines down and illuminates the path for us of all. Okay. Spiritual symbols floating around his head, oneness, non-denominational, all paths, welcome, spiritual teachings, and wisdom and paths. And that's kind of what I got out of all this too, right? All the different symbols. It feels like it is open for, it doesn't, usually you would see like the Pope or something like that, very traditional Catholic symbolism for the Hierophant. And a lot of people coming out of certain religions really had an issue with that. So, the Papal Cross is on his t-shirt. Holy Trinities, a link to the divine, also conscious, subconscious, and superconscious. Mandala gateway, ascension to the divine. So the mandala, that's the gateway, ascension, right? Bridge between the divine and the mundane, the path of enlightenment. And then we've got mindfulness, meditation, presence, joy, our portals of connection. So this is what it says. Powerful lessons, a spiritual teacher or guide, a time to have faith, awakening, enlightenment, and service of spirit, finding your own path, an awakened soul, new paradigms, transformation, and transcendence. Shadow seer. So that was upright, right? Or the light side of the card. And the shadow doesn't have to be in reverse. It's like what's lying underneath, what's hidden, right? So the shadow seer, old systems or structures that are no longer relevant, dogma, rebelling against societal norms, a need to let go of old ways of thinking, abuse of power, stagnation, ego-based leadership, a need to connect with spirit. So a Hierophant story. The Hierophant is the keeper of the sacred. As he sits at the steps of a spiritual pilgrimage, every stair is a lesson that is unique to the individual who walks the path. He has always known that his primary path in life was to show others the doorway, and he sits smiling at the base of a step-by-step spiritual journey, welcoming guests with open arms. Hieros is a Greek word meaning sacred, and font, and font has its roots in the Greek to show. As he warmly greets those who arrive, he reminds them of their own divine makeup. You are made of God stuff, he calls out, fashioned with the same forces of creation that inspired the stars. As an awakened master, he is the personification of the gateway between divine source and the people he serves. He holds in his mind's eye the energies of all religions, and he recognizes that, organized or not, there is deep wisdom at the heart of all spiritual teachings. It's the people who fail us, he winks. He lives a life of humility and service, but always in a way that demonstrates self-love. His t-shirt displays the prongs of the original Hierophant's Trinity scepter, because he openly holds admiration for the old gods and for the many wondrous faces of the divine that speckle our expanding universe. The Hierophant's message. As you search for your divine truth, you create frameworks of understanding that help you to expand your consciousness and that ground your faith into your reality. Your own spiritual beliefs should support you at this time, and if they don't, you are being asked to activate a deepening of your faith in order to find the guidance that you seek. When the Hierophant shows up in a reading, he is asking you to grow and to hold more light within your being than you ever have in the past. If you've been stuck in an old tradition, system, or structured way of acting or being, it is time to let that fall away in order to make space for a better version of you. The Hierophant serves as a gateway between divine source and the seeker, so be open to new paradigms, perspectives, mentors, or teachers coming into your life at this time. He may show up in a variety of lessons or circumstances. Look to the repeating patterns around you and strive to understand your own internal compass. Know that while there is wisdom in the teachings of the mystics, the voice of your own heart is the one voice that matters the most. It's time to find the wisdom of the heavens within. I am my own guru. The guidance I need is rooted in my faith, my belief, and my unique essence. So, questions for the seer. Are you listening to the wisdom of your heart or placing other people's messages above your own? Is there an old way of doing things that you are holding on to? What would happen if you let go of an outmoded way of life? What beliefs or belief system is getting in the way of your dreams? And then there is a 4-card spread. So faith, carefully select a card to represent your faith by looking through the cards face up and choosing intuitively. You get to decide. 2, renew. How can I strengthen my connection to the divine? How can I renew my spiritual or religious faith? 3, what actions or daily practices would help me at this time? And 4, my incredible spiritual capacity, a message from spirit. Healing with the Hierophant, skeletal systems, shoulder or arm problems, ancestral or generational trauma, right? Because it's about traditions, right? TMJ, rigid joints, hearing disorders, throat disorders, right? Because it's about being able to break free from old trauma and traditions and being able to speak your own truth, right? So throat disorders, obsessive or compulsive thinking, lost religious or spiritual faith, pessimism, trauma caused by systems or patriarchy. That's one card. It's beautiful. Beautiful. So let's look at the 7 of Wands. Actually, let's do the Judgment, just because that is another one that is, okay, another one that's a major arcana. So you can see all this here. She just talks about the symbolism of stuff and face the music with your true voice and find the clearest of harmonies. The light seer part. Self-realization and understanding, spiritual awakening, redemption, knowing your motives and your heart to be true, total transparency, soul searching, a glorious unveiling of spirit and epiphany. Shadow seer, self-doubt, hiding behind many masks, a reckoning, a need to let go of a shadow aspect of your story, denying yourself and your loved ones the experience of your true nature or essence, harsh self-judgment. A judgment story. When the call sounded, it was unmistakably hers. Harmonic, vibrating, magnetic. She heard it resounding through her soul, beckoning her with its emotion and truth. There was nothing that she could do but to stand up to listen. Nothing could keep her from meeting this part of herself. It was time. The call asked her to listen deep within and to find her sacred way, or sacred why. It beckons her to truly dedicate herself to its path. She's known what it's like to live a life based on fear and to live inside of that box, that category, an illusion. She walked that path for so long that it felt like other people's ideas of who she was became more important than her own sense of self. But she has finally seen how far she strayed from her true nature. Here she witnesses herself, her true self, for the very first time, light and shadow revealed. And in the shadows of this reckoning lies the profound wisdom of judgment. She could never push the truth down so far that it would truly disappear, and that all of those past actions, thoughts, and decisions remained bundled inside of her sense of self, and that it was up to her to decide their meaning. Her honest self-evaluation called her toward new levels of self-realization and ignited her purpose. And when she awakened to her true nature, she realized that the only form of acceptance that actually affects our ascension is that which lives inside of our own hearts. Oh, be still my heart. So the judgment's message, if I can speak properly. You have known judgment in the past, both as one who judges and one who has been judged. And you are now at a place where the only awareness that really matters is that which you bestow upon your own actions. To truly raise your vibration, you must send healing approval to your own heart from a place of deep compassion and integrity. When you are being completely honest, are you doing your best with others and with yourself? It's time to shed any negative facades that you have been holding on to and to drop the masks behind the masks. No more faking it. It may feel risky, yet this profound act of self-acceptance will unleash your absolute essence in a brilliant display of authenticity. You are sweet light seer, stardust and life. You are light, shadow, matter, and consciousness, and you are a miracle. Why then do you keep your true nature hidden away from the world? If you are holding on to any disdain or doubt about your divine nature, there is no way to really understand your full potential until you are open and honest with your own heart. To expand and evolve requires a colossal forgiveness of the self. Forgive your beautiful soul. Accept your beautiful heart. As you do, you consciously answer the call of your higher self, and the vastness of your horizon will make itself available to you. Hello, Essence. I invite you to show up every day. I invite my soul to shine unapologetically. That's right. Shine brightly, okay? Questions for the seer. What needs to be forgiven? How is it that you really want people to see you? And how do you want to see yourself? If it were up to you to judge your life at the end of your days, what would you say to yourself? When you listen to the deepest callings within your heart, what do you hear? What part of you needs to be accepted in order to feel whole? And then we've got an essence and magic, a spread for awakening your true nature. And then I want to do one last one and show you. Now, there's not spreads for the minor arcana. It's just the wands. It's just the major. Love this one so much too. Seven of Wands. Yes, okay. Challenge. This is in the light side. Challenge, grounding and protecting yourself, movement, growth, creative innovation, remaining ahead, feeling vulnerable, a sign to continue to share your ideas and self-expression. Defending yourself, this is the shadow side. Defending yourself, being attacked, being slandered, being misunderstood, a need to erect energetic boundaries, a lack of preparation, and giving up, right? Haters, a wand story. Haters. As soon as she climbed to her current perch, they started whipping out their wands and challenging her position. She's been here for what, maybe 5 minutes? And there's already someone who didn't like what she had to say, another someone who disliked what she ate, someone else who aggressively demanded that she explain her background, and a whole set of wands pointing at her flaws. Some people dislike anyone who they perceived as successful. Others want what she has. Some are just angry at the world and they attack her because she is visible. She takes a pause, remembering that she has the experience to be at the top and rooting into the unshakable certainty that she is deserving of this success. She realizes that her only option is to defend herself if she wants to stay put. But while they use violence and aggression to tempt her into losing her composure, she chooses a different route and draws on her integrity, her energy, and her love. This, too, is a lesson that will serve her well. Taking a deep breath in, she draws down light from the universe, and she forms an energetic bubble around herself. She casts a protective shield as she imagines the rune of protection streaming down into her sheltered sphere. She has created this bubble of protection. So no matter what they do and come at her, because, you know, in our society, it seems like there's always this, you know, cheering people on, especially when they're down, or that you can do it, you can do better in your life, I'm rooting for you. But it seems like sometimes as soon as somebody becomes successful, or they start sharing those things that they worked really hard for, then people want to, exactly what it said, they're haters. They're either jealous, or that's what this card signifies to me. Somebody having to stand their ground, but do we always have to stand it, you know, and stoop to other people's levels? We can simply just shine brightly in our own right and let that be our protection, right? And curate what we continue to watch, or not let certain words and or actions affect us, because we have set up boundaries. Protection, right? This too is a lesson that will serve her well. Taking a deep breath in, she draws down the light of the universe and she forms an energetic bubble around herself. She casts a protective shield as she imagines the rune of protection streaming down into her sheltering sphere. Consciously, mindfully, she brings feelings of peace and well-being into her body, and so it is. Message from the Seven of Wands. This is why this is my soul deck, okay? Because Chris Ann is just a genius. It's time to show your determination and tenacity, especially if you are being asked to defend your accomplishments to others. Remain confident in your abilities and remember that you deserve this success. You earned it. Draw on your integrity, your love, and your positive energy and stand up for your beliefs and intentions. Sometimes competition emerges as a result of shining brightly in the world. If you are feeling attacked after sharing your magic, it is important to remember that others likely want what you have. So stand up bravely and continue to do your beautiful thing. You are at a place where others may envy your status and are hoping to knock you off your pedestal. It's important to remember that you don't have to accept their opinions as truth, especially when they are vying for your position. Check in with your integrity and make sure that you are acting in a way that is aligned with your highest values. And when you know that you are, don't let anyone stop you from achieving your dreams. Be persistent and defend what's yours. If you are feeling criticized, unaccepted, or misunderstood, this card is a reminder that standing up for yourself and clearly radiating your truest message will convey self-confidence and backbone, so continue courageously. Maintain your flow. Set up healthy boundaries and bolster your belief. Remaining synchronized and aligned with your bright vision will help you to avoid sinking into any confrontational or negative states that others may be pushing. I show up bravely and I shine my light into the world. So the questions for the seer are: how much do the opinions of others affect you? Is it time to be firmer with your energetic boundaries? How would your perspective change if you were on their side of the situation? And what would it look like if you showed up in your most vibrant form? So even in the back here, she goes through all of the tarot, and then she's got correspondences in the back here, and she's got a, you know, comparison with every single card in here with the RWS. So it's a really good, quick at a glance resource in the back. But I'm telling you, if you have the Light Seers and you've never read the book, I urge you to read the book, because it totally changed everything for me. Granted, I was still fairly new when it came out. I think I was only 2 years into it. So it set the pace for how I see tarot. She did that. Chris Ann did that. And this was the book that did it. This was the deck. And then also the Sacred Creators. I hope she comes out with a big book for that too. Chris Ann, I hope you're watching this. Please come out with a big book for that too, because the people that have the mass market, they do not have the really good book. But I mean a book like this, hardbound, because this is the kind of stuff that I would hope every single tarot enthusiast and oracle enthusiast would have this kind of book in their arsenal, in their collection of tarot resources, because it's just phenomenal. So we've got astrology associations for each one of the cards. We've got the element associations. We've got the rune associations. We've got musical note associations. We've got body and healing associations. Oh, for the major arcana. And a rune cheat sheet, because she does have runes floating around in there. Tarot landscapes. And into the gray we follow like 1,000 flickering stars, and there in a sunlit hollow we lose and find what is ours. And into the shadow we wander, what that glimmer of light has in store, and then into the light we remember that at some point we dreamt of much more. So into the gray we meander, holding hope as we anchor our hearts. Then we pray and we dance and surrender, finding courage and trust in new starts. And into the light we face bravely, like the faces of love in the flesh, and we smile both wildly and gravely, and with spirit and source we enmesh. So into the gray we follow like 1,000 flickering stars, and there in a sunlit hollow we lose and find what is ours. May you find what is yours, sweet seer. Oh, I literally have goosebumps, okay? Oh my gosh. I had to make this video because I love the Light Seers. I love the cards. The cards are beautiful, but it was the book. And a lot of what is in here, okay? The stories, but it's done so much better in this. So I do hope she comes out with the Sacred Creators also, a big book like this. Please, if you haven't, please, please, please consider it. I have the big book because I've got the indie version, but it is phenomenal, and that's why it is also one of my favorite all times ever oracle deck, is because of the book. I am one of those people that I love spreads, and I love reading what the creators have to say about their creations, because it does change things for me. It does help change my perspective through seeing other people's perspective. And if it resonates, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So thank you for spending this time with me, and I am sending you love always.